In this video, we're diving into one of the most powerful strategies for building a property portfolio in Ireland or in the UK. The buy, refurbish, refinance model. This is also known as BRR. If you've ever wondered how investors keep buying properties without running out of cash, this is the video you have been waiting for. In this video, I'm going to walk you through how equity release works, how refinancing actually happens, and how you can use this strategy to scale your portfolio safely and sustainably. Let's dive in. Firstly, let's look at what equity is. I have actually made a complete video about equity. So equity simply means the difference between what your property worth in today's current market value and the amount you are owing the bank. So, for example, if your property valued at 300,000 euros and your mortgage balance is 200,000 euros, you've got 100,000 euros equity in that property. Now, in Ireland, you can't just pull out the entire amount. So, because the lenders typically allow you to refinance your property of up to 70 to 80,000 loan to value on your buy to let. That is still a very powerful tool. Now, the BRR strategy is all about creating equity quickly so that you can recycle your cash for another property. Now, let's talk about BRR strategy. BRR stands for buy, refurbish, refinance. Here is the simple version. Buy a property below market value or the property that needs some work. Refurbish the property to increase its value. Refinance the property at the new stage with higher valuation. Now, it is time to release the equity and use it to fund your next property. This is how the investors basically grows the portfolios of the property without needing to save a new deposit every time they need to scale up. In Ireland, it is important to buy right. And the key to buying right is that you should ensure that you are looking for properties where you can add value. This might be the property that needs some cosmetic upgrade. This might be the property with an outdated heating systems that you only need to replace the radiators and then just to repaint the house and you're good to go. It could be a property with, for example, that has some kind of layout issues that you just want to, strategize and readjust. Maybe the living room, I mean, there is one room or one big toilet downstairs. You want to, to optimize it and to create some ensuite room in there, or the kitchen is too small. You want to expand it, and so on and so forth. The property that needs some kind of extended or some sort of reconfiguration to create a better value. So I always advise people to make sure that they're not going for the most beautiful house in a less attractive area. If a house is already beautiful, everything is just intact in the house. You cannot add any value into such property from investment standpoint because the previous owner has already added all the values and they are probably want to sell that property for the maximum price they can get on it. So, what about going for the bad looking house in the most valuable area? So, by doing so, you can upgrade that house and you'll be able to get a very good, return on your investment. Now, it is important to remember that the lenders in Ireland are very strict, and then if the property is uninhabitable, you may not get a mortgage for it. Or if you want to get a mortgage for it, you may need some sort of bridging loan to or a cash to purchase a such property before you can go back to bank for refinancing in the future. Now, let's move on to refurbishment strategy. This is where you create a value into the property. And the common value add improvement include upgrading the BER rating. This is very huge for rental compliance in Ireland and it can drastically increase the value of your property as well. Another possible improvement or value added improvement you can do in the house will be to, for example, to make a new kitchen or a bathroom in the house, to rewiring the property or replumbing them. Insulation upgrade, it's another type of upgrade you can do to increase the value of the property or to reconfigure the layout and add additional room. Right, if you see a house that has some potential space, at the back that doesn't necessarily require some sort of planning permission, so you can do so, and this will increase the value of the property. Now you can also add an extension if you think the number stack. Basically, the goal here is to spend 5,000 euros, for example, and add 10 to 20,000 value into that property. Please ensure that you keep the receipt, the photos, and everything. Just keep them documented because the lenders may want the proof of the work done in the property. Or sometime when the lenders bring the value, they may value the property below the market value for whatever reason, and then you should be able to prove for them the type of improvement you've done in that property. Now, let's have a look at refinancing in Ireland. Once the refurb job is complete, you will bring in the a valuer from the lender to revalue the property, and then if the property now worth more than the previous price, you can now refinance that property based on the new valuation. Let's move on to how to actually release equity from that property. Releasing equity in Ireland typically happens through a remortgage. It can be with the same lender, and then or it can happen through switching to a new lender that offers you better terms or maybe some kind of a cashback and so on and so forth. A mortgage top up, it's another option, but this is less common for buy to let investors. Once approved, the lenders pays out They release equity into your solicitor's bank account, and the solicitor will subsequently release the money into your account, and that becomes your deposit for the next property. Now, let's have a look at the risk and the reality. BRR is powerful, but it is not a magic. Here are some risks that you need to respect. For example, valuations may come in lower than expected. Refurbished costs can spiral. Renter income must meet lenders' stress test. Interest rates can change anytime, and regulations in Ireland are very strict, especially around the BER rating and tenancy rules. So you should be aware of this. This strategy works, but only with careful and due diligence. Now, the final thoughts. The BRR strategy is one of the most effective way to build property portfolio in Ireland, especially if you don't want to wait for years between one purchase and the other. Buying smart, adding value, and refinancing strategically, you can recycle your capital again and again. With this, you will have a fully refurbished rental property that is generating monthly income while at the same time growing property portfolios. Thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, hit the like, subscribe, and share the video with someone who is thinking about getting into property investing. Thank you very much and see you in my next video. Bye.